We are the world's #1 service club organization. We are the biggest, we are the noblest. Our foundation has been adjudged and certified to be one of the best foundations in the entire world. At this point of time, when we've completed 100 years, there is so much expectation from the Lions clubs in every part of the world. And the word that is regularly used is professionalism in the way we conduct, in the way we run our Lions clubs, and the way we run the programs and the projects of the Lions clubs. So what does the word professionalism really mean in relation to our organization? One way of looking at the word professionalism is something done in return for money. That may be the general way or the general manner in which this word is used and understood. But when we talk in relation to Lions clubs, this is not the connotation that we narrate or that we attribute to the word professionalism. Here, what we really mean by saying or talking of a professional approach to our clubs, to our programs and projects is that the output, that the final delivery of our programs and our projects must be in direct proportion acceptable to the kind of the resources that have been employed. And a lot of resources get employed. First of all, there is manpower, there are ideas, there are thoughts, there are funds, there could be various other experts that we could be using. Just because these resources become available to us, and just because we are not answerable to anybody at the end of the day, does not mean that we do not measure, at least internally, to ensure that the ultimate delivery and the extent to which the impact of our programs is being made is adequate and appropriate. So that is an essential mindset with which we have to work to ensure that our approach is professional. The next most important thing is that we need to set our own standards. Like we put in so many man-hours in a particular program. We put in so many dollars or rupees or whatever currency in a particular program and project. So what is the delivery that is expected? We should be setting our own standards. If we do not set those standards and we do not set those standards high, we tend to accept whatever the outcome of those programs and projects is. Now that is first of all unfair to ourselves, to our clubs, to our colleagues, and definitely to our communities, because a lot of resources come to us from our communities. And we must be also responsible for certifying the completion of our programs. That's a professional's job. A professional always certifies that what he or she is expected to deliver has actually been delivered. There is a final outcome, there's a final report, there's a final analysis. Now, we may not have reports and analysis the way it happens in a corporate world, but we do need to look at the bottom line at the end of the day. And in doing so, in trying to get where we really wish to get, whether as individuals, as a team, in our programs, projects, we need to ensure that our path is the path of integrity and honesty. It's not only getting to a particular goal. It's not only about accomplishing a particular goal, but it's about doing it with integrity, doing it in a manner that we can be proud of talking about it in a transparent world, doing it in a way that we have nothing to hide, doing it in a way that we can talk to the other clubs in other parts of the world such that they may be able to emulate. So that is the professional approach that we are talking of. The next issue in the professionalism, in the element of professionalism in our clubs and our programs is about diversity and about gender intelligence. We must be able to work with individuals from different parts of the world, different cultures, different backgrounds, different mindsets, different languages, and basically adding color to our teams is extremely important. And when we talk of gender intelligence, it is sometimes in some parts of the world in our organization misunderstood as if we are talking of carving out special place for women. Yes, definitely, a special but an equal place for women. It's not that if something is being doled out to the women, it's just that women are equally a part of this organization. They are as much welcome as men. They have as much space here as the men do. They must have as much freedom and they must feel as much at home in our meetings, in our bodies, in our various committees, and they have a good representation. So gender intelligence is basically about creating uniformity in opening out the opportunities, in opening out the gates to men and women. And that's the way the corporate world is running today. You will find there is really not a difference between men and women being promoted to the highest positions in the corporate world. The world is changing. We need to bring that culture to our part of the world. Now, if you're watching this presentation and you belong to some of those countries where this differentiation does not exist, congratulations. But the fact is that in many parts of the world, such differentiation still exists today. And that is what we need to take care of while we plan the professional approach in our organization. The next element about professionalism is about learning and unlearning. A professional is one who constantly is ready to learn and who constantly is also ready to unlearn what he or she has learned in the past, because the pace of change is simply so strong, is simply so robust that we need to continue to update ourselves. We need to learn new ways of doing things, and sometimes the new ways may be conflicting with the ways that have been adopted maybe some years earlier. Now, that process of learning and unlearning is something essential to a successful professional's mindset. The same thing applies to our organization. Here, the way we run our organization today, the way we are going digital in our organization today, it was absolutely unthinkable just a decade ago. So we need to also adjust our mindsets in this organization in trying to learn and unlearn. And while we learn, we need to be able to manage complexity, because today, as we said, we are the number one organization. Our foundation is the number one foundation. The impact of our programs is growing manifold. As that happens, the affairs of our club, the way our programs and projects are run, there are going to be various complexities, in the sense that we may be partnering with various organizations. We may be working with different groups. We may be having individuals who have different mindsets, different way of looking at things and different working styles. And they may be coming from different parts of the world. So managing this complexity is important. There is no single formula that I may suggest to you, but it's all in the mind. If the mind is ready to accept that diversity, if the mind is ready to work with complexity, that's always possible. We do it in all our private affairs, in our business and professional affairs, and we need to do it in our organization too. And individuals who occupy high positions, we need to understand that there are so many coming behind us, and we need to give them space. We need to give them opportunities, and that's why we say, do not major in minor things. Concentrate and focus on the major issues. And while we concentrate on the major issues, do not be concerned about badges or positions only. That is what I term as beware of organizational obesity. The organization should be in a position to move forward seamlessly, to move forward with power, to be able to deliver, to keep individuals together, to keep the teams moving. And in doing so, if we try to bring in too much of hierarchy, too many layers, that really becomes difficult, that really becomes a very big challenge. And as we are leaving that legacy, we need to understand that in that entire process, irrespective of whatever positions that you and I may be holding, that we may be assuming at a particular point of time, that we do not hog too much of limelight and too much of airtime, which basically means we need to share the limelight and the opportunities to reach out, to be able to speak with our colleagues. Sometimes we believe that this is a prerogative that belongs to only some individuals who wear a particular badge. Now, that is not the professional approach. You will find that in the best of the corporate organizations, the most important individuals and the key individuals are not the ones who are hogging the limelight at all points of time, because they understand and they know it very well that they need a team to carry a program or an initiative to success. The same thing applies in our organization too. And in doing this, we need to be able to empower others such that we create new leaders. A professional approach in our organization is not about having more followers. It's about creating new leaders. It's about empowering them. It's about creating such a wow factor in whatever we are doing in all our programs and projects that our results get magnified, that our results get leveraged, and that more people get attracted into the organization, and that the talent pool, the resource pool, the manpower talent of our organization goes up much higher. Now, that is the approach with which we need to be working if we have to ensure that we continue to be the number one organization even in the second century of our association's lifespan. We do have individuals serving in various positions, and that's very important, but a position does not mean that one is above the other. The position only means that we have assumed and accepted specific responsibilities, but we all work together. We are all one. Even the leader of the team, even a district governor, even a council chair, or whatever level, he or she is just the first amongst equals. That's the mindset with which we need to work. That's the mindset with which we need to be moving forward. And the last thing that I need to speak to you about professionalism is to be able to leave a legacy, to be able to leave something which posterity will remember us for, to be able to do it with confidence, to be able to do it in a manner that we really justify wearing that Lions lapel pin, and saying that this is a Lions program, that this is a Lions Club project. In building legacies, even when we serve, we have to be careful about the quality of our programs. We go out and do health checkup programs. Good. Do it in those parts of the world, in those areas where this is really required. In some of the western parts of the world, it may really not be required. But wherever it is required, well, then the health checkup has to be of that quality. We talk about relieving the hunger, and we talk about serving food, reaching out food to individuals who need it. But then the food must be of that particular quality which even you and I can eat that food if required under circumstances. The whole issue is that whatever we do it with dignity. We honor the dignity of the recipient. We do understand at every point of time that every individual is a special creature, is a unique creature of God Almighty. Some of us may have been blessed with more means to go out and help others, and that's what we are doing, and that's perfectly fine, and that's the discharge of the social debt, and that's living up to our logo, and that's living up to our motto that we serve. But we need to do it with dignity such that our programs and projects leave a legacy. They leave a stamp on the faces of the community, and the people then genuinely say they serve. Lions serve. So professionalism is all about getting the communities to say Lions serve.